I'd like to walk everybody through how I make a Y2K that I use on the Spring River that I have found great success with. I use a number 8 hook. It's a 1510 model, number 8. I use a 3/16 bead, and the yarn that I use comes from the bug shop, glowbugs.com. I mostly tie the chartreuse and burnt orange. That's my favorite colors. I hear some people call it candy corn, different names, but this bigger Y2K on the Spring River, it gets down there to these fish. They're in deep pockets, and it gets down there to them real good, and a lot of success here. I use enough lead wire to help hold the bead in place. Just push that lead up in there. It'll swell up and hold that bead in place. I lock that down with thread. And I'll get thread, I'll put thread all the way down the shank of the hook and cover the lead wire that we just put on. That helps hold the yarn in place and keeps it from slipping around. So with the thread advanced all the way to the bead, we're ready for our yarn. Doesn't matter which color first, but I roughly cut about a 2-inch piece of yarn, and I see some people pull this in half. I use the whole piece for both colors. On the first color, if you'll come under that thread and up lock it, so get that thread around there and pull it tight on the upstroke, and that will lock that yarn in place. About 3 good turns, and we'll be ready for that second color. And here we will lock on the downstroke. So we'll come across and we'll tighten it up on the down. Again, about 3 good turns. And I'll peel one side back and come across the bead about 6 turns. Switch colors. And come across the bead behind that other color about 6 turns. Just trying to get all this to stay in place. Pull both colors back to expose that bead, and we're going to build that thread up behind the bead. This will help hold the bead in place and give us something to pull the yarn against when we go to trim. So we get that built up good, and then it's just a whip finish or the finish of your preference. I use a little head cement. And then trimming the yarn, sharp scissors are best, and we're going to put quite a bit of pressure and pull this yarn very tight when we cut. We're going to try and cut this in one snip. And when we get that pressure on there and cut right above the bead, it'll puff out. Do the same on the back side of the hook near the bend. This cuts at a slight angle with the bend of the hook, but again, pulled very tight. And then one cut so that it'll puff out. And there's my version of the Y2K that I use on the Spring River.